Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Cockerel Doodle Doo, your morning Spurs show. Daniel Levy must have had a nightmare because he must have thought, what is the worst combination I could want to see 9 a.m. in the UK? And I think he would say Brian and Stell together during January. Well, people's wishes have come true. Rez will be joining us at some point, but first of all, Jose, how are you, sir? Good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen. Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you very much. Looking forward to the show and to what the chat have got to say.
Well said, well said. Stell, who's our Finland correspondent today, and his Wi-Fi's going already. There he is. How are we doing, Stell? We good?
Yeah, I'm good, guys. Good to be with you too. I'm just sitting in the lounge. I've got a flight in about, what time is it? 5 hours. So, yeah, let's talk Tottenham.
Let's talk Tottenham. But first of all, let's just say hello to everyone that is in the house. Good morning, Eddie. Yeah, it's too early for me to say words I want to say. Good morning, Bertie Hotspur. Good morning, Svarog. Good morning. Mr. Steak is in the building. Long time no see, brother. Ray the Yid is in the house. Active on Wembley. Graham Hill. Andrew Gregory, Mark Cousins, the International Observer is back. I'm loving his pound shop Enoch hashtag. I might have to start using that one. Colin Cross is in the house. We have Hypo Noise, John Ellis Hall, Rich San. We have Sammy is here. Brett all the way in Australia. Lee Smithy Smith, Benjamin Foster. Kuva 99 is he's getting itchy. He's getting itchy trigger. Ferg, good morning to you, sir. Who else is here? Mari, big up, Mari. Bloody hell, Tottenham away international at the moment still. Got you in Finland, him in Cancun. All good. Can one of you go to Italy and Romania, please? And Ryan McFarland and Emma, or MG, sorry, is in here. So, a couple of bits of housekeeping to deal with first. First of all, I am going to do a well done to the club. Because obviously on Friday, unfortunately, there was a fatality on New Year's Eve. A young 16-year-old kid has lost his life on New Year's Day of all days. A tragic stabbing. And it's found out that he's a Spurs fan. And the family wanted to try and get a 16-minute chant going that he's one of our own. And the club have come in and said, don't worry. Oh, look who's made it. Look who's got the memo. So the club have come in and said that they are helping out and they'll put the name on and picture on the board, which is something the club don't do. And I know this from trying to sort something out a few years ago. They will not get involved unless it's a young child or an ex-player. So I will say, really, obviously, tragic news about the kid, but wonderful to see Tottenham Hotspur act like a proper club and honour this kid's life and assist with with the minute's applause and the minute's song. So if you're going to that game, please make sure you sing that at the top of your voice. Good morning, Craig. Good morning, Lee, as well. And Rayman, good morning. First of all, Rez, how are you?
Not bad. It was a bit of a slow start this morning, so that's why I was a couple of minutes late.
No problem at all. So I'm glad you're here, because before we get into the Spurs stuff, I just want to do a bit of housekeeping. And I just want to make sure, first of all, thank you for all the support. We hit 8,000 subscribers yesterday and 850,000 views. The channel really is starting to move in the right direction. It's thanks to all you guys that watch. Thank you for being part of the journey. So, seeing that we're getting to a bigger size, just want to make sure that everyone at Tottenham away, we treat you okay, don't we? We treat you okay, Rez?
Yeah.
Stel, we look after you?
Yeah, I mean, you just said Tottenham away, so I got confused.
Tottenham away and Tottenham on tour, yep. Jose, when you're on Tottenham on tour?
Yep.
Everyone in the chat, I just want to make sure that, unlike the bitches that Arsenal are, we're not going to report anyone to HR and say, I'm being hurt too much, he's hurting me, he's fouling me, I don't feel like that. So anyone that hasn't seen, Arsenal have we've got the biggest injury thing curse at the moment. Maddison gets absolutely clattered every single time. People like Jack Grealish are the most foul people in the Premier League. And after 2 defeats, Arsenal have written to the powers that be to say that they think that Saka is getting fouled too much.
Oh my lord!
Stel, I'll come to you first on this one. How pathetic is that guy? And big up Sean Slater, who is on a long. This guy pulls over whilst he's on his long. He's a long distance lorry driver and is pulling over to interact during the chat. So, Stel, Arsenal reporting other teams for their harsh treatment of Saka. What do you make of that?
Have you ever heard of this famous book? I think it's by Dale Carnegie, called how to influence people and win.
How to win
friends
like and influence people.
Yeah, this is exactly how not to do it. This is a masterclass in drawing more attention, unnecessary attention, and heat on you. I guess in some ways it could be a bit of a Jurgen Klopp, where you
VAR.
You yeah, and it's kind of all going his way now, right? I think in the case of Arsenal, they're just overdoing it now, and they're kind of part of me thinks they're just doing it to deflect away from the way things are unraveling over there. That 4-year process, 700 million spent, can't beat West Ham at home, can't beat Fulham away, poxy Tottenham without Harry Kane getting a draw at the Emirates. I mean, we could go on, but part of me thinks it's deflectionary. Part of me thinks they're trying to win a case that they're never going to win, and it's just, yeah, they're desperate for validation, aren't they? They just want a bit of validation.
Yeah, I've also actually, you made the negative 11 on Twitter, didn't you, as well?
Yeah, I'm actually left back, and I'm a bit disappointed by that, because I thought at least I'd be a bit more on the front line, like more of an attacking role. But
I'm amazed I didn't make it. I didn't make the list. I didn't make the subs bench. Neither did Ryan. But this person did. My man certainly did. Good morning to you, sir. Jose, what is your thoughts on good old Arsenal?
Well, to me, whoever's doing this at the club, because it's going to be someone further up the food chain, whoever's doing this at the club has seriously got it, is either demented and has seriously got it wrong, because they're for what they're campaigning for, not only to do with referees being against them, VAR, now it's Saka, it will be someone else, and I don't think we've heard the end of it. I think we'll probably get another 2 excuses put out there before the season ends, and whoever's doing this at the club is either really ill or has got it completely wrong, because they're going to be ridiculed by absolutely everyone. Imagine all the songs that are going to be coming out from whoever visits their ground or whenever they visit someone else's ground. Everybody's just going to be against them, isn't they? So long may it continue.
Damn right, I'm going to start thinking, "Don't cry for me, Mick Arteta." I've got to work on the lines to get the rest of that. Rez, what is your thoughts on the developments that? I still can't get it. James Maddison gets absolutely clattered week in, week out. For years, Jack Grealish has been the most foul player in the Premier League. He gets up and just does it as part of football. But this is a new low, surely.
I think my response to this is best summed up as follows. It's a joke. It's a joke. It just demonstrates. I said it a few days ago. I think it was on We Are Tottenham TV. The one thing that I think sets apart real winners is that, or real, successful people, is that they show leadership. Arteta doesn't have that. I don't see it. I don't see this person having any real leadership skills. I've never seen, and the other thing that he lacks is grace. He is a very ungracious person. He doesn't ever think that a loss or a bad outcome has anything to do with him or his players or anything else. There's always someone to blame rather than himself. Yep. I'm not surprised by this. It's very comedic, and it just speaks to a real lack of class. This is what losers do, and that's what Arsenal are under Arteta, just losers.
Yep, right. Well, do you know what? That's enough Arsenal bashing. Let's get on to. We spent 12 minutes and we haven't really spoken to
Brian.
Yeah, go on, Stel.
Brian, can I just add to this, right?
Well,
for about 3 years, I've been calling him Fraud Teta. Right?
Yep.
I started that.
Yep.
A couple of people use it. Most people don't. And I've been told for 3 years it's childish, it's immature. How can you call him that? In the last week, so many people now coming around to that thinking.
Yep.
This man has been given £700 million. One man. He's had 4 years. And to be 1 point behind a broken Tottenham. And we are broken. We don't have squad depth. We've sold our best asset without replenishing him. And we are on the brink. We're on the brink of just complete collapses. We don't know how we're keeping this going at Tottenham. It's unbelievable.
Yep.
And we're 1 point behind. Like, he's not that guy. And I said it 3 years ago. You can't finish 8th twice, bottle top 4, be in first place for the longest any club's been, to then wobble at the end and blow it. And then this season, where you spent £200 million to go from second to first, to be 1 point above Spurs.
Yep.
West Ham United are 18 points better off this season.
Rice, yeah.
Arsenal are 10 points worse off. But Declan Rice is the signing of the season, not Vicario. Everything that comes their way that is negative, they deserve it. They absolutely deserve it. I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, I agree. And the reason I think what's been most sort of sickening about it, again, I try not to think too much about Arsenal, except when I fancy laughing. The thing that really gets me is that the media have been sat there, essentially bigging this club up, almost from the very first whistle of the Premier League this season. And that's what's been irking me. That's what's been really getting up my nose, because it's almost like they're trying to will them to win, and it's like, why don't you people be less biased and just report what happens? Don't tell us what to think. Don't say, Arsenal are fantastic when they're not. stop bigging up Mikel Arteta. Stop bigging up Bukayo Saka as if he's the best English player of his generation. He really isn't. Just leave it alone and stop trying to influence things. Just let the cards fall the way they do. And when you get Captain Lego throwing his bloody toys out of the pram, okay, and making complaints where none should be made, hold him to account. Hold his feet to the fire. When you see Ange Postecoglou play a particular way, right, don't call it naive and then don't call Arteta a crybaby for pissing and moaning. If you're going to criticize one manager, criticize them all. Yeah? Or if you're going to praise one manager, praise them all for their qualities. Don't pick and choose the ones that you want to influence. And that's what's been annoying me.
We are now still. We're just going to go over. We're going to quickly change. Right. We're going to go on to. I've had too much talking of Arsenal. Oh dear, that Cockerel. I'm going to kill Cody Mack. When I next kill Cody, I'm going to kill him. Let's talk. I've spoke. Obviously, last season we had the Daily Porro with We Are Tottenham TV. The year before it's a Daily Adama. Well, I'm going to call it now. Let's start talking about the Daily Dragusin, because he's still not here. And from what I'm seeing on Twitter right now, the stage that we're at, and I'm going to quote this, is we are now, after 2 weeks of looking, 3 days of talking and it moving along, we are now at the part where we are talking about the structure of the deal. This is the new part. I've never known anything. Surely that's what you do in the intermediate talks. Surely that's what you do once you've got everything okay with the agent. We were 5 million apart. We were then 7 million apart. Jose, we're now discussing the structure of the deal. Tune in tomorrow for we're arranging to have a meeting about the meeting for the structure of the deal. But we're now talking structures. What's your thoughts so far? We're on day 4 now. And I have to say, people that are in our group chat, I had a bet with EMF. EMF was like, we'll have a here we go by Wednesday midnight. Who wants to have a bet with me? And I was like, I will. And obviously, I've won the bet because I don't bet against me with Levy. We are now here. We're at the structure of the deal, Jose. How are you feeling about this?
In all honesty, I'm not as with this one. I'm not thinking. I'm not getting the same vibes I did with Porro from last year. With Porro, I think there was too many moving parts involved in it. I think with this one, it's just a matter of when we sign him. And I've got my belief is, and I'm hoping I'm right, is that we'll sign him probably. Well, it'll be before the game against Man United, which means that could be half a month rather than a whole month that we did with Porro. But as I said, I think there was too many moving parts with the Porro deal. I'm actually a bit more confident on this one. It's still ludicrous that you can engage with someone over a period of time before the transfer window is open, i.e. engage with the agent and stuff like that. Because if you engage with the agent, then you know whether the player wants to come to you or not. And then you think to yourself, well, it should make the deal far easier. But we are Tottenham Hotspur. But I'm not getting the same vibes, to be honest, Brian, as I did with Porro.
Sorry, Jose. Go on, finish, Jose.
Yeah, as I said, for me, the emphasis was there's too many moving parts with the Porro deal. I don't think there's that many moving parts with this one. I think it will happen quicker than what the Porro deal did. But as fans, we wanted him in before is it midday today in order to be available for tomorrow's game. And I don't think that's going to happen.
No, it's not. And still, I'm going to come to you with this one because what I will say is, obviously, I will say, Jose, I've got no doubts this deal goes through. I've got no doubts that this deal goes through earlier than Porro. That is no doubt. It's once again, here we are. But the thing I'm struggling with, and still, this is going to be to you first, is we heard, and of course, this is all ITKs and yada, 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 and rumours from the club, that we are looking to get players in quick. And if a deal seems problematic and takes too much time, we're not wasting time. We're moving on to the next one, which is what happened with Todibo. Todibo was number one. And then obviously the money was too much. And we said, right, that's it. We're not messing about. On to Dragusin. So we've moved on to Dragusin still. One that was meant to be quick. And somehow people are getting this mixed up. There's quick, getting things done quicker. And there's obviously what we used to, dragging it out till the end. So quick would have been in by now. Quicker will obviously be anywhere within the first 30 days, but hopefully within the first week. This one is taking its time, isn't it?
Look, there's two ways you can look at it. One is these things take time, or two, you don't suffer from short-term memoryism, if that's even
it might be a Finnish phrase whilst you're there, mate.
A condition. I've just created one. There you go. Either these things take time, or you suffer from short-term memoryism, and you have zero accountability for this club. I put a few social media posts out today, calling this out for what it is, and I've had nothing but a monumental backlash. Not that I care one bit, because I'm a man of my word when it comes to this club. And for me, it's quite simple. We brought in Scott Munn. Paratici was already there. Lange. We built this new dream team after Daniel Levy spent 1 year doing an internal analysis on the footballing operations. He's identified his people. He's brought them all in. They've been there for 2 months, knowing the injury situation, the suspension situation, and the African and Asian Cup. There is zero excuse.
Great.
And we have a manager who clearly said, I want players in early January so that they can impact the games in January. So the manager has said it. We've been told that this new 1 year analysis restructure is all in place, ready to go. So to not have things done before the first FA Cup game without a midfield, without Heung-min Son, is unacceptable. So it all comes down to what kind of a fan you are. Are you we'll be all right as long as we get top four and the football's pretty? Then you've got the club you want. If you're a fan who wants to win the FA Cup, who wants to try and win the league, because there is an opportunity this year with the rank outsiders, but we've got a chance, then you have to demand that the things the club has told us are delivered. And you have to demand that this manager's backed. Being backed doesn't mean, oh, we'll give him 100 million each summer. No, there's many elements to being backed. For me, we are crying out for some support in the attacking lineup and the defensive lineup. We are going into Burnley on the assumption that, we'll beat them. That's what we said about Fulham in the Carabao Cup. And we are weaker going into this game. So, are you short-term memoryism and incapable of holding the club accountable? Or have you got standards for this club? I know what I am. Each fan to their own. You're all allowed to be what you want. For me, Brian, right, to not have the player in ready for Burnley, then what does it matter when Scott Munn and Lange come in? Just save some money on their salary and bring him in next month, you know?
There you go. Right, Rez, before I come to you, just quickly want to say thank you to Colonel O'Year for becoming a member of the channel, and to Shane Reynolds. Thank you very much indeed for your support. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. If you do want to support the channel by becoming a member, big things start for the members as of next week. We're just putting everything together. And a very big hello, very quickly, to a very, very close friend of mine, Stells, Rezid, everyone's, Wayne Holland, wishing you a very happy new year, brother. And I hope you feel better. He has been suffering from the vid this year. So wishing you a speedy recovery, brother.
Feel better, Wayne.
Very soon. Reds, basically, from what we've just been speaking about with Stell and what Wayne's just said there.
What can you say that hasn't been said a million times already? In answer to specifically answer what George Caradas said, and just to elucidate anyone who might not realise, what you have to realize is that the January transfer window is essentially the period of time in which you can register new players, right? You can talk to players at any time you like, with the permission of their parent clubs. You just can't register new players. So you can have a deal done and dusted and ready to go, and for you to pull the trigger on the minute the clock ticks midnight on, say, January the 1st in this instance. I just again, it comes back down to that this is what we've seen so often in the past, and it's very difficult to remain sanguine when one has identified that a particular practice has to change, and we don't see that change, and we're told that others have sort of come on board with that thinking, and then we don't see it happening. That said, we should potentially be a little bit, we should try to be fair. We don't know whether or not this has been started beforehand. We don't know whether or not negotiations have been stymied by one side or another. The likelihood is that it hasn't, but we don't know. The only thing that we can really do right now is just buckle up and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. It's just getting to a point where it's just a joke, really. We really needed to have most of our transfer business really done within the first week, and we're halfway through that right now. They might surprise us. You never know. Who knows? We might get Dragusin in a couple of days, and that might be the late one, and everything else is done in short order. But again, the reason that I'm not particularly sanguine is that all in sort of December, we started getting those little drip-fed stories. Oh, right, Tottenham have limited funds. We don't have that much money to spend, even though we are the most profitable Premier League club in history. And again, we get the apologists saying, but what about the stadium debt? Again, go back to March, April of 2019 and listen to the man himself say that Tottenham Hotspur will have the new stadium will have no impact on the spending of players. Okay, so don't bring stadium debt into this, because it doesn't apply. Why have we not got our business done early?
Okay, Jose, I'm going to come back to you, but first of all, Corey, thank you very much indeed, buddy. As Red said, Gapco in January, Liverpool, January the 1st. I keep using Virgil van Dijk, January the 1st. One of the things that I take, okay, I understand this, but I'm sick and tired of hearing this excuse. Tottenham Hotspur need him for Burnley. If you're the buying club and you want them, you're buying them for a reason. You don't go, oh, you play your games and risk injury, and we'll see if we get him. If Spurs want him, and this is all this, and I'm going to go back to this again. First of all, Jose, how much longer can people use the stadium debt and whatever in this game-changing stadium, which is really game-changing? We're still at 5 million apart for every single goddamn player. But these deals get done. If we'd paid the 30 million, and like I've said on other streams yesterday, I went on a bit of a marathon on streams yesterday. People say this is what agents do. I've never seen deals. I've seen deals where agents get involved, but every single transfer Tottenham Hotspur tried to do, all of a sudden, and why is there an agency fee? Because Spurs have gone very low on the money, and now they
Brian, put Rez on mute. Brian, okay, mute Rez.
Mute Rez.
No, Rez.
Right. Thank you, sir. So yeah, we're getting to the point now. I'm going to say again, Dragusin gets done. I have no concerns about that getting done. We're just sitting here again, and I don't accept excuses anymore that this team need him for that game, or we had this whole, like Res said, 2 weeks of doing stuff. When do you reckon this is done by? Do you reckon he's in the squad for Man U?
I'm hoping so. I mean, and I totally agree with what you just said, Brian. The stadium is a red herring. It's because the deals that Tottenham have done in the past, where you allude to the 5 million difference, this happened before the stadium, because the man's been it for 23 years. So these kind of deals and the kind of stories that they're being linked with a lot of deals happen pre having the stadium. So the stadium is just a red herring. That doesn't come into it. For me, I think he will be here before the Man United game. However, I don't subscribe to, he'll come after Genoa, the Genoa game. The Genoa game is at the same time as our game tomorrow night. If you want the player, you buy the player. You don't, as you said, you don't risk an injury with any player at all. Do you see what I mean? You don't. If you want that player, you want him to be 100% fit the way he is now. Take his medical. He's your player at your club. Not to risk him and let him go and play another game of football where he could get injured. If you want the player, you just go out and buy him. End of story. You know, and the deals, the conversations would have happened. What I will say is, I think that this transfer window is being led. It's being led, not the signing wise, but it's being led by Paratici. So we might have Lange, we might have Man in the background, but I think the month of January, the people that we end up going for is because Paratici was doing the work since the summer, and not Lange. I think Lange and McDermott and all the others, their ball and their game will start in the summer transfer window. But I think it's Paratici that's leading all this now. Now, does that mean that upsets the apple cart? Do Lange and McDermott, do they get on with Paratici? Do they see Paratici as being in the way in that? I don't know. But at the end of the day, with the track record that Paratici's got and the players that he's brought in, I would still let him lead, because I reckon we'll get a better chance of getting a good player in January. But as I said, I think we should just go and get the deal done. And have him in. We should have had him in before tomorrow's game, basically. But I think he'll be here before Man United.
Okay, so before I come to you, I just want to go to a couple of chats that I just started, because the one great thing about doing this, and this goes to anyone that has a channel, Stel with his channel, Jose with your channel, Rez when he had his channel, now part of Tottenham Tour, all the channels, and it's all stems from Tottenham. We are Tottenham TV, the mothership. Is we get to meet incredible people in this community, whether that means in person, on screen, in chats, on social media. And there's just been a couple of minutes. I just want to, Bob, you have no idea how much this means to me. Good evening from Canberra. Well done for 8K. Thank you. Whilst I think, while I only knew, I think the supportive community in this part, your support of mental health is fantastic. This is more important to me than Tottenham, than Levy out, than everything. Everyone who's watching it, 242 of you, will probably know that I've known Stel for 33 years. We look very young for our age, but yeah, I have known Stel for 33, almost 34 years, and Stel's seen the good, the bad, the ugly of me. Always been there to support me, no matter what. And mental health has always been a big thing when it comes, and the support I got from Stel and everyone in the community when I went through shit last year. It's why I give it back. And then Keith Kenro, thank you, brother. Someone that I started talking to in the community, we now speak on WhatsApp regularly because people need help. So if anyone ever does need to talk, this community are always there to support, and it is more important to me than anything going on at this football club. Everyone should be there to help everyone, respect everyone. I have been at the lowest of the lows, and if it weren't for the people on this screen and in this chat and in the community, I could have been back in the old days and in a very bad place. So thank you for your support on what we do for mental health. There will be a special coming very soon. But still, let's go back to you now. Where are you? Because I know you speak about this, the game-changing stadium. Go on, Stel. Just go wild.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is, right? I'm not going to lose my mind. I'll just repeat what I've been saying for God knows how long, right? At the start of the season, I said, if we get mid-table, once we sold Harry Kane as well, if we get mid-table, it is what it is, right? But then I saw us pre-season. I thought, hold on a minute. I've never seen a coach get a style of play, especially an attacking one, out of a group of players we thought couldn't do it so quickly. And I've been coaching for a long time. Like, honestly, what Ange is doing is nothing short of sublime. Don't get me wrong. We haven't played like this all season. But when it clicks, it's like, wow, that's quick. And I went from mid-table, I said, we will get top 4 this season. And I stick by that. Suspensions will end. Injuries will come back. Hopefully a couple of signings. And then the business end of the season, we're going to cook. I think we're going to end the season on fire. But what I also said was, if Spurs can stay in touching distance of the top 4, if we can stay there or thereabouts going into the January window, which we've done 5 games ago, didn't look likely. Look, teams have dropped off. City have had a bad period. Arsenal have lost the plot. Liverpool had a little wobble, and we've found a little bit of form and some results. We've ridden our luck as well. But look, the point is we're in touching distance. I said this a month ago. I said it on my channel. I think I came on here. I said it. I said it on Savage channel. I said it. I called in on Tottenham TV twice. So people can go and watch these videos. They're out there. I said, if we stay in touching distance of top 4 and Daniel Levy backs this manager in January, I'm telling everyone, we are dark horses for the title. I mean that. And I stick by that. We are dark horses. That means we're probably not going to do it because there's better teams with better squads, with managers that have done it before. But don't write us off. Don't just dismiss us like that. Will Stewart even said we will finish above Arsenal. He said that 2 months ago and he sticks by it. If Daniel Levy right now pulls the trigger and says, there's Dragusin, there's another goal scorer, and there's another player, whether it's a wing back or a midfielder or a striker that Ange needs, I'm telling you, we can win it. I don't think we will, but my God, we're in with a shout.
Yep. That's
what I'm looking at with this ownership. I don't care about a 3-4 year project, because in 3-4 years, what's Man City going to be like? What's Arsenal going to be like? We don't know what the others are going to be like. The opportunity is now. You've got to strike when the iron is hot. And right now, there's 5 teams that come in the league: City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Villa, and Spurs. No one else is winning it. Nobody else. One of those 5 will do it. It's probably City or Liverpool, but don't dismiss Aston Villa and don't dismiss us. And if there's one team that people should really be worried about, it's us. Because our manager's a winner, our football's sublime when it clicks, and we're the only team in the top 5 that don't have European football. We won't need to rotate. Back him now. Now's the time, not next summer, the summer after. You got to take opportunities in life. Rez once said to me, he can quote it correctly, enjoy the fruits of life. Well, the fruits aren't always on that tree. You've got to take the fruit when it's on the tree. So that's my stance on it, Brian. I think Spurs are dark horses.
Philosophical still. Well, I never. Listen,
I've taught you well, young Padawan.
You have. I've seen a lot of
Show me the apples. Show me the passion fruit. I want to see the bananas.
A lot of people talking about the mental health part that I just said. Listen, my email is there and it's in the chat. Kuva said me and Kuva speak to a lot of people within the community, and we're not professionals, but we've been through situations and we can offer help or try and lend support. Pass on motivational videos, one that I listen to all the time. I saw Ren Hun, someone that I'm very, very protective over. I will reach out to you today. I hope you're okay, Hun. Rez, I am gonna come to you with something. I went on Alan's stream yesterday on Time Added On, and we had a bit of a discussion about the club, Levy, and very, very open with the chat. And people kept saying, "Oh, we don't have the money, we don't have this, we don't have that." Well, obviously we do. You've spoken a lot about the stadium debt and how it's financed and how it's moved around. But what I'm getting at, I don't expect us to spend £100 million on players. Stell doesn't. You don't. Jose doesn't. I don't think the 244 in it don't expect us to spend £100 million on players. But when a team down the road have been out of football's elite for 6 years, 6 years, we finished above them. They've been in the lesser European competitions, and all of a sudden can drop £100 million on a player. That blows that excuse out of the water, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and it at the same time it still speaks to something that I've been talking about literally for years. In as much as football fans, I mean Tottenham fans specifically, really should be much more educated about the way that football finance works. It sounds really boring, but what amuses me is that so many people give themselves the right to talk about stuff like financial covenants when it comes to debt, and yet don't actually understand the way that football finance works. A lot of people still think that it's all about handing over a virtual briefcase of money and the player walking in the opposite direction. It really isn't like that, okay? Almost every single transfer of players these days is about restructuring a debt somewhere, right? So when player A goes from a club to another club, the two clubs will basically look at what debt exists within their sort of network, which involves countless clubs, and just adjusting a few figures here, there, and everywhere. There's very little actual cash that moves from one place to another. So when you get, when Arsenal is said to spend £700 million, it's not quite like that. What they've done is basically taken on £700 million worth of capital assets, and have restructured the debt that they might owe to one club and from another club and all of this stuff, right? But that in fact actually speaks more to Daniel Levy's refusal to act in the interests of the football side of things, because money can always be found, if that's the way you want to think of it, for players. In terms of purchasing, in inverted commas, a player, or purchasing that capital asset, that's easy. That's not actually that difficult. But the key to it comes down to how much you're spending on those assets.
Reg,
really,
one sec. I've just got to deal with Ducky who's coughing up a verbal. 1 second.
I'll carry on. It's just you and me, Jose.
Yeah.
I think the key to it is how much you're spending in terms of operations. And I always talk about the wages to turnover ratio, which is the amount that you spend on wages compared to how much you're making in terms of your revenue. And Tottenham's is the lowest in the league. And it has been since ENIC took over, right? There was a one or two times actually where we had quite a high one, but that's it. The key is that we make a huge amount of money, but we don't spend a lot of it. And that's the key. If we spent a little bit more of what we made on those operational costs, which really does boil down mainly to player wages, I think we'd have a better squad. We'd have a squad where there wasn't a massive cliff edge between the first 11 and the bench. These are all facts. These are all, realities of the way that things work. For me, I want to see that change. And I say it like this: you've got two possibilities. Either Daniel Levy is lying to us when he says that he wants Tottenham to win, or he doesn't know how to do that, right? He doesn't know how to get us to win. Either way, after 23 years, it's demonstrated to me that he is not fit to be the chief executive officer and chairman of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, and that needs to change. You don't need to oust ENIC as an organisation from the structure at Tottenham for that to happen. Again, another misunderstanding is that you get people saying, oh, but ENIC own 80% of the shares, so they have to be in charge. No, you can appoint someone who has absolutely no stocks, who has no stake in ENIC, to be your chief executive. Okay, you can have someone who isn't a part of ENIC as the club's chairman. And what we should be doing, rather than being the only club in which the chairman is also the chief executive, which most viable businesses will avoid in order to prevent that organization or that individual having too much power over the organization, we should have two people, one a chairman, one a chief executive. And in this instance, after 23 years, Daniel Levy shouldn't be either of them.
There you go. And you know what? We're going to change the subject now because we've got 15 minutes left. Let's talk something which, please God, will be positive because something starts tomorrow. It's AngeBall Eve. Guardians of the Pumbaa are back up and running. So if you want to see a billion, if you want to have your Twitter timeline taken over by the most, I've never known so many pigeon gifs to be readily available on an app. But there are. Tottenham embark on their FA Cup adventure as of tomorrow. I've said that I think Spurs' name is on the cup. How wonderful would it be for Spurs to win the cup in the year the last person that won it tragically passed away? So I'm going to go to El Tel because I'm talking about him. This is obviously our only opportunity of silverware. This FA Cup means so much. It's never lost its magic for me. People of a younger generation obviously won't have the affiliation that we have for it because obviously it's been watered down over recent years. How important is it to you? How far do you think we're going? And how do you think we line up tomorrow?
The FA Cup is all important to any supporter and should be all important to any club that enters it, even the non-league clubs. The FA Cup is important for different reasons, but to everybody it is important. For me, I'd like to say that we've got Burnley tomorrow, and for me, Burnley are in a perilous plight at the moment because I think Luton have got some results recently that they've pulled 4 points clear of Burnley. Luton are actually on the coattails of Everton and Brentford now, and I think that for Vincent Kompany and for Burnley, I think they're going to put their eggs in their basket to try and retain Premiership status. So I've got a feeling that, if anything, the personnel will change more for Burnley than what it will for Tottenham tomorrow. I'd like to see us to go. We haven't got a game for 9 days after tomorrow, so I'd like to go in strong tomorrow. Okay, so we haven't signed Dragusin, so for me, I would like to see two of the youngsters start. I'd like to see one of the centre-half start, minimum, and I'd like to see Jamie Donnelly be given a chance as well tomorrow. Other than that, I think just play your full-strength team and get past Burnley tomorrow. The next round of the Cup, I think, is towards the end of the month, which hopefully we'll have another 3 players back from injury by then, which means we get a stronger team. And then we go from there. But I'd like to see us go on and win it this year. Let's go do what we didn't do against Fulham.
Okay, so still before I come to you, there's a few things. First of all, David Shire, thank you once again for gifting another membership, brother, and for joining yourself. Thank you very much indeed.
Can I just say thank you to David Shire because he's gifted it to me.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you, David.
There you go. I've never seen that where it's been gifted to someone live on the panel. And then obviously we've got another membership. Now this guy really should be focusing on staying out of jail. He should really be focusing on releasing some money. But Joe Lewis has joined as a member. So
you've got another one, Brian.
Joseph, there's another one. Oh, Jesus. Okay, listen. Thank you. I'd rather you put the money towards good causes, i.e. players. But
no, that comes out of his own pocket. The membership
okay,
from that £6.5 million salary that he gives himself every year.
I'm gonna start going with agent fees and raising the price now of our memberships. Only for you though. Still, there was a question. First of all, I want you to talk about the FA Cup, but first of all, I did see a question come in from you from Yoris, and it is. And then go on to the FA Cup. How was your time in Dubai, brother?
Dubai was good.
I didn't go to the Spurs Supporters Club in the end because the traffic in Dubai is something to. They should be very proud of what they've accomplished over there, the Emirati. If you think London's a joke, Dubai's on another planet, and how they've managed that because it's a brand new city, I don't know. But there you go. No, we ended up in a sports bar. It was great. I got battered by Arsenal fans because we lost to Brighton, and then I sat with the Arsenal fans to watch them get banged up by Aston Villa, West Ham, which was great. So depressing times, but yeah. Look, the FA Cup. Oh, by the way, big up to Joe Lewis Levy. It's all the same account. Donna Cullen as well.
Yeah, I'm waiting
got
for
3
Donna
accounts.
I'm waiting for Donna to have the Holy Trilogy.
There is.
There it is.
There you go.
As I said it.
There you go. We've got the trilogy. There you go. We've got the set. You sunk my battleship.
I badly want to meet this person. I have to meet this person. I've got to find out. I had to find him. Yeah, the FA Cup. I don't listen. It's not me being negative. It's just how I feel. I don't think we'll win it on the basis that I don't think we can do 2 games a week. I don't think Spurs can do it.
Well, it won't be 2 games a week, will it? It'll be 1 game a week.
It's 1 game a week.
Apart from, I think the 5th round is a midweek one. I think it's the 5th round. Big up, Phil.
But then don't they schedule games into the midweek?
I think there is a FA Cup game midweek. The 4th round, I think, is midweek towards the end of January.
Oh, okay. So who knows?
I think it's the midweek leading up to
guys. Google is your friend. Let's have a look.
Well, look. Even if it's 1 game a week, at some point in the semi-final and the final, we're going to have to play a City, a Liverpool, a United, and I think they're just going to have our number. That's just how I feel because it always happens. Maybe Ange can change it if he does. Amazing, like brilliant. I want us to win the FA Cup. I prioritise the FA Cup over top 4 all day long. I've always said that. I've always said I'd take a trophy over Champions League. But if we are in a position where there's more injuries, suspensions, let's say we are in that situation, Daniel Levy's going to demand top 4 money. He did it to Poch. He did it to Jose. Lost his job. He got us to a cup final. He lost his job over this. There's no way he's going to change his ways. He's a money
just to provide elucidation, Jose, you're absolutely right. There is 1 round that is played in midweek, and it's the 5th round proper, which will be played Wednesday, the end of February. But other than that, every other round is on a Saturday or Sunday, I'm guessing.
Red, also, before Stel goes back, I'm going to have Dictionary Corner with you every day. What the hell was that word you said? For elucidness.
For people's elucidation.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
For their enlightenment, for their education, for their increase in knowledge.
Come on, Brian, get with the program.
Yeah, but still, you get school education. Don't tell me you're used to that.
Actually, technically, elucidation means to clear people's thinking.
Well, there you go. Well,
how can you not know what the Illuminati is?
Right, that's enough. Right, Phil. Thank you very much indeed, mate. Hope you and your dad and family are good. And then Donna Cullen has let you know, Stel, that she waited for you in Atlanta.
Atlantis, the hotel. I went there. You weren't there.
Oh, I can't even read. See, Rest does Dictionary Corner. Yeah. I can't even read the word Atlantis.
This was in Dubai. She was met on a channel. She was saying, "I'll meet you in this hotel." Anyway, look.
Yeah.
If we start on Donna Cullen,
that's a different channel. That's a different story. What you were going to do with Donna Cullen. Rez, FA Cup.
Wait, can I just finish my point?
Yes.
Sorry, I just want to finish my point on this. I don't think Spurs will do it. I just don't have that feeling we will. I've never had that feeling for a long time. I listen, I hope we do, because like I said, I always put the FA Cup over top 4, always for me. Yep. I don't care about Champions League. You get to Champions League, you need a miracle to win it. But the FA Cup is something that we'll remember for a long time. And like you said, the year that Eltel passed away, to win it would be amazing. Who would have thought he was the last manager to lift it for us as well? That's unbelievable. Yeah. But I actually think that he's not going to play the strongest squad in this game either. I don't think he's going to go all out for it. I think he's going to dabble a bit, and that's why I was hoping for some new signings. I'm happy to be wrong on all of this, by the way. Everyone watching Tottenham on tour, I'm happy to be wrong on all of this.
Yeah,
it'll be amazing if I'm wrong on this, because then we want a trophy. But
That's what we've got.
I'm
Another
not-
super chat from Donna.
Brian, just so you know, Burnley, right? Burnley, we're underestimating them as well. They went away to Brighton a couple of weeks ago and got a draw. We got battered at Brighton. And they beat Fulham a couple of weeks ago. Fulham dismantled Arsenal. And both of these games were away. And they only just lost to Aston Villa away. And that was with 10 men Burnley had.
Yeah.
Let's not write them off because we did this with Norwich, with Colchester United.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well,
If we
is
go
where
into
I'm
this
going
game
with
like
Fred.
it's Burnley, then I'm telling you, it's going to be a tearful day for us.
This is where I'm going with you, Rez, because what I want to come with you is obviously what Stel just said about Burnley. I think Burnley have one eye on Premiership survival, so they may rest. But I agree with Stel, we cannot take it lightly. But I think whereas we've probably been told top four is the priority, obviously for the financial rewards of it, Burnley is in exactly the same house for other reasons, although they get the parachute payment. Do you think we go strong? Now, I actually think we go strong tomorrow because we've got 8 days until United. I was at the Fulham game, and the Fulham game was nothing short of a disgrace. But we had Burnley, ironically, in a few days later that we went on, and I was there. We won 5-2. Do you think we're going strong, and do you think Burnley have priorities set for survival?
Ultimately, what I mentioned earlier to help elucidate people is that FA Cup fixtures are on weekends for the large part. There's one round where it isn't. Burnley have nothing to lose by playing a full strength side on Saturday. But by the same token, Tottenham have nothing really to lose by playing a full strength side, because what are you preventing against ultimately?
Well, Rez, hold on. Sorry, but what if we get more injuries going into a massive game away to Man United? That is a colossal game for us, and they're there for the taking.
But that could happen at any time, Stel. That could happen at any time. You could say, oh, well, we've got a massive game potentially. I'm not saying we do, but we've got a big game the week after. So maybe we go weak against Man United. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. They've got a week off before the next game. You don't pick a squad to prevent injuries in-game injuries. You do to prevent it from sort of becoming fatigue-related injuries. Yeah, absolutely. If it was, let's say, we're playing Wednesday and then playing Saturday, yeah, I would say you would alter your squad. But you can't prevent against injuries in a game. Look what happened at Chelsea, for instance, with us. You could get suspensions at any moment. It can happen. So for that, because there's no fixture congestion to deal with regard to the FA Cup, the only one that will happen is at the end of February. I see both sides playing full strength, both clubs playing full strength sides, and that means that Burnley are a little bit like an unmarked speed bump. They have the chance to upset us. They're still not in wonderfully good form. All right, they're still not in wonderfully good form. But Vincent Kompany has demonstrated that he's not the type to go half measures on anything. So yeah, I expect to see a full strength Burnley, and I expect to see, I use the term advisedly, a full strength Tottenham, because our squad is right now is just like, as I said the other day, like too little butter over too much bread.
Yep.
Rez,
Would you be surprised to see Mickey van der Ven in the side tomorrow? Bearing in mind that we had Benton call last week, and they said that Mickey van der Ven is already in training.
I wouldn't be surprised. I doubt. I've got my doubts that it will happen, because I think because of the type of injury, it will probably be a longer sort of ramp up to full strength, to sort of full squad strength, full match fitness. But I wouldn't go, what the hell? a bit like I actually did with Bentoncourt the other day. So I wouldn't be shocked, but I think it's unlikely.
Yep. And we're going to leave it there. Stel. Well, we're going to leave it there. Go on, Stel. Go on. Have your final comment.
I just want to rebuttal to what Rez said about injuries can happen at any time, but in on the grounds that we've got nothing to lose. Would you then agree, Rez, that if we do play a weaker side, that the club maybe have instructed the manager who's gone along with it that we do actually have got something to lose, which is to focus on top four as opposed to a trophy. Therefore, let's put a weaker squad out so there's less chance of injury and focus on top four. Would you agree to that then? If that was to happen against Burnley?
Well, you see, there's a lot of moving parts in that question, a lot of different variables. You know, it's a case of, have the club instructed? Has Ange gone along with it? Or is it Ange's decision, let's say, potentially to sort of thing? I can't see us drawing that many conclusions from it. It's like when we went out the Carabao Cup, everyone said, oh, it's very obvious that Ange is playing a weaker side because he doesn't take it seriously. I'm sorry, that wasn't obvious to me at all. I just saw a manager trying out a different set of players with the expectation that they would deliver for him, and they didn't. I don't think managers think in those terms as much as we might think they do. I think they do give some consideration, but I don't think it's that much of a consideration.
Rez, if he plays, and not just Rez, everyone, Brian and Jose, if we play a weakened team against Burnley, how will you interpret that as a fan, you as an individual? How would you perceive that?
Listen,
if he plays a weaker team, I would say that his focus is on the league and that he wants to make sure that we end up as high as possible. But I wouldn't say it's a case of him saying, I hate the FA Cup, I think it's a load of crap, and so I'm going to dismiss it. It'll be more along the lines of, I've got to garner my resources as best I can, and obviously the league is the bread and butter of every club.
Because I am going to wrap it up with this, because I've got to go do We Are Tottenham TV duties. As Postecoglou, ending it off on that, even jokes about with the FA Cup. Remember in the press when he said, when he asked who's the first Aussie to win the FA Cup, and everyone says Craig Johnson, he goes, no, Aussie RD list. This guy knows how important this cup is. This cup, just the cup best be taken seriously. So we're going to quickly go round. And Jose, I want your prediction. Tomorrow we're back again. Ben Kaufman will be back as well. It is AngeBall Day tomorrow. It's AngeBall Eve today, obviously. Jose, prediction for the score and where people can find you.
Strongest lineup tomorrow. If strongest lineup is put out tomorrow, I can see 3 or 4-0.
Okay, and where can people find you?
I'm dual streaming in half an hour on El Cockerel and AngeBall with Ash Paddy.
There you go. Stel, prediction and where can people find you and what's coming up on the original channel?
Prediction 3-0, strong squad, weakened squad, we lose 2-1. Where can they find me? Tottenham away. Iggy does videos in the morning. We're live for the watch along for the Burnley game. There'll be some kind of post-match analysis. But our bread and butter is always Monday. Monday 8:30. That's the best show that we do if you want to tune in. So
there you go. And Reginald, speak about what's coming up for you for Tottenham on tour.
Tonight at 7 p.m. The first of Shelfside on tour goes not live. It will be available for watching. Let's put it that way. It's very, very sticky tape and a prayer because it was my first one. Tinkering with a new format, a new way of doing things, but do please come and watch. There's some really nice sections in there that we're going to sort of get you guys involved. So if you haven't already taken out a membership, please do so, because it will give you the chance to engage with my particular brand of madness and torture, is what I really like to call it. And so, yeah, tonight, 7 p.m. Shuffleside on Tour first show, and we'll be coming at you every week with anarchy, madness, and pain. And yeah, so that's on tonight, and I'm sure you'll see me somewhere out there shaking my fist at the sky and swearing at Daniel Levy.
Well, there you go. Talking about that, man, it's time to wrap up. And what I will say is thank you for the members that have joined. Thank you for the super chats. The new members, we have the Holy Trilogy, or the Unholy, shall I say. We have Levy, Cullen, and Lewis that have joined us. Thank you for your super chats. We'll be back tomorrow. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, Levy out.